Alright, what's up, oh, wait, hold on. I gotta roll the windows. What's up, wait, hold on. On my notes. Alright, hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Sorry for the triple start on the intro. Just got done, well, just kidding. I saw it this weekend. You're not gonna know what day I recorded this on. Don't even worry about it. I just got done watching the Mario movie. It's pretty good. Something I wanted to talk about, though. So movies in general, right? Hiya! Oh my goodness, no! Oh my god. And so it happened. The phone fell. I tried to save it. There we go. A little better. Yeah. Alright. But, oh. Hit the hazard button. Alright, but anyways, guys. So Mario came out. It's pretty fun, right? It's, people are projecting it to hit $2 billion, which would be really neat, right? I'm down for it. I'm here for it. So the Mario movies, it brings a lot of things into question, right? One thing to talk about when it comes to the Mario movie, now that I've seen it, now that I can give an informed opinion as opposed to just like, an internet opinion, because like some stuff you see online, these people have no information, they're just saying stuff. Also, I apologize if I'm covering my face a lot. That's my power scouter. Alright, but the fans gave it like a 90-something and the critics gave it like a 60-something. Both of them are right. Yeah, okay. Like let's put it out there. One of the things I like to do, or one of the things that like I take pride in myself for, is that like I can personally see where something is either fun, enjoyable, good, right? Because some people think that a good movie has to also be fun. And when I mean good, I'm talking like when it's critically reviewed, like when a movie reviewer gets in there and they start talking about cinematography and music and character development and stuff like that. A movie can be bad in the sense of like critical review, but still be a fun, good movie to watch. I'll give an example of something that people probably thought was good and then critics didn't think was as good. This is an easy one I can pull off the top of my head. Endgame. We all know Infinity War better than Endgame, right? From a story standpoint. It's just how it is, just how it plays out. But Endgame potentially feels a lot better to watch. Now, granted, you have to watch Endgame, or you have to watch Infinity Wars to get to Endgame, but think about it. So, like, time travel really kind of is fucky. And a lot of it won't make sense. And as we see with the stuff I have been complaining about, and maybe you haven't seen it. Maybe I haven't posted all my thoughts. That's why I want to get this podcast up and running off the ground. I'm gonna actually talk to my co-host, and we're gonna discuss that a little bit. We might try to get a panel going here soon. See what we can do. But it's like, how to put it? Time traveling kind of fucks a lot of stuff up, right? Because it's like, thanks to time traveling, we get this beautiful moment where Captain America decides he's no longer going to be our, like, lead Avenger. Oh, my phone rotated. Look at that. But, that's not a bad thing. It's not bad that he's not in the MCU anymore. He did leave a massive hole. And from a writing standpoint, the hole didn't have to be so big. But they chose to do that with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Because, like, honestly, I do not think, and this is just me personally, folks will fight me on this, but I don't think that fucking Sam Wilson, or whatever the fuck Falcon's actual name is, should have gave up the fucking shield at the beginning of the goddamn show. Like, what was that? Look, I feel like I'm getting off topic completely here. But, like, I wanted to use that as an example, Endgame, because it's like, some people reviewed it kind of poorly because there was just a bunch of fan service, right? There were a few things that were payoffs for you watching the entire movie. There were references here and there. But for the most part, that whole movie was just fan service. Especially when you see all 900 characters on screen and you see Chris Evans go, assemble. The whole theater lights the fuck up. Shit's amazing. But if you think about it from a critical standpoint, Infinity War was a lot better. There were more stakes involved. It felt like it had more meaning, right? Even though the follow-up movie was gonna like invalidate all the sadness because we're just gonna bring them back from the dead. But I feel like you might be grasping what I'm saying here a little bit. Now going back to the Mario movie, the critics, they rated it in like the mid-60s, low 60s, whatever. Well, if you think about the actual story, you're kind of right? Like, it doesn't get very deep. There's not a whole lot to it. It starts off Mario and his brother. They're trying to get their plumbing business off the ground. And then boop, oh, Mushroom Kingdom. Look at that. Oh, Bowser, for whatever reason, wants Peach. And I mean, like, I feel like I'm not spoiling anything when I say the plot is Bowser wants to capture Peach because Bowser's in love with Peach. Because, like, by this point, everyone's heard about Peaches, right? We've all seen the music video. We've all seen Jack Black in the Cole Bennett music video. Like, I feel like at this point, the plot, like, I'm not hitting y'all with the spoilers or nothing. We could do that on the podcast though. Let me know if y'all want to see stuff like that. But it's not that deep, right? And then there's no real character development other than maybe like 2 things, right? And I'll mark those off as spoilers so I won't ruin it for you. Maybe I'll entice you to go see it yourself, right? Let's get this movie above $2 billion, right? It's a team effort here. But realistically, the reason I bring up these movies is because I feel, and I'm sure a lot of other people feel this too, but I don't want to be the guy like, we're getting superhero fatigue. But we're definitely getting bad movie fatigue, and we're trying to find the next genre that's gonna have like close to a decade worth of good movies. Because like comic books were going hard in the paint from like 2005 to 2015. Let's just keep it a beam, right? They was killing it with the comic book movies. But here we are a few years down the line. Society's progressed, people have progressed. Some people argue with it, some people argue for it or against it, whatever. Social politics has also progressed as well. It's reached its grubby little fingers into a lot more places than we thought it would. You have people that'll say things like, everything's political. It's like, sure, maybe it is, but like, not everything's this on the nose. Does that make sense, right? Because like, I was watching something and it was like a video game that literally gives like no, how to put it, it gives none of the energy that something that's preaching at you would give, right? And then some dude did like a breakdown about how it was political, because not the movie itself, but the people involved in the movie and the stuff around the movie. And I was just like, well, if we gotta reach this far to get that conclusion, then like I just don't care anymore. Like if everything's political, fuck it, it is. I'm just gonna be like, if someone brings that argument my way, sure, maybe it is political, but I'm gonna, show them example of other property that might also be political too, right? Because they're saying everything's political, but this one isn't. It's not like beating the idea over your head, like, so sad. But we can actually touch on one of those ideas, right? So one of the things right now with our social politics that's reached into even video games at this point, but for the most part, movies and TV shows, the girl boss, right? The girl boss trope. And if you don't know what it is, I'll explain it real quick. The girl boss is a female character who is literally great at everything, does nothing wrong, rarely, if ever, fucks up on screen, and there's no room for character growth because they can do everything, right? Some people will call them Mary Sue. Some folks will get mad if you call them Mary Sue's, whatever, right? It essentially boils down to a female character that can do any and everything, and all the men characters around her are just idiots, and she has to just help them, and it's just like, why am I helping all these idiots? Why don't I just do it myself? But Peach, some people are calling her a girl boss, right? Sure, maybe you could apply the girl boss tag to her, right? But if you watch the movie, they do explain it, right? Like there's no character growth in Peach that we see on screen, right? But they do explain why she is at the point she's at. And as someone who plays the game, as someone who willingly and voluntarily picks Peach in Smash, because that little toad counter and throwing the little, well, sometimes it's not a turnip. Sometimes you pull like the little spikes out the ground. But like, decent character. She's fairly strong, right? So in the movie, they position Peach as like a fairly strong character, right? She's pretty smart. She takes charge. But when they explain it to you, it's not like, oh my God, another. It's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Because in the video games, she kind of did the same thing, right? So, one thing I will say, I really enjoyed them. Because let me just tell you, the same way I said in-game was nothing but fan service, the Mario movie is nothing but fan service. From the moment they started, it's, hey, remember this? Remember this? You remember that game? Look, hey, remember this game? Remember this character? There's a whole bunch of that, right? Sometimes they make you even go, look, you remember this level? Alright, sorry about that. There was a lot going on the road. People were braking all over the place, but we at a stoplight now, so I can get back to it. So do I think Peach was a girl boss? No. I think they did a fairly decent job. I'm not about to give an example of a girl boss that like is the girl boss, right? Because I could probably say like, I don't know, Bo-Katan or Rey from Star Wars, right? But people would probably fuss with me about Rey because they're like, she does have her little training montages. Like, does she? Because like when you see her in her montages, she's like lifting every rock in the like 5-yard radius, right? And these aren't rocks, they're boulders. And it's like, when you think about Luke, he was struggling to pick up one rock, right? Sure, fine. Since we've already opened Pandora's box, here's another example of girl boss. She-Hulk. She-Hulk gets in there, Bruce doing his damnedest to try and convey how difficult it is to be a Hulk and the things you need to manage. And her possessing all the abilities in the world, just this perfect yoga in front of him. Sees his moves, copies it, does it better, right? It's like, you got one big clap? Well, how about I do a bunch of small thunder claps? Oh, fuck. But, now that you know what a girl boss is, when people say girl boss, like, remember those examples. Because Peach is not that example. Peach, and it's like, I'm talking about this, and I don't know how much is spoiling, and how much is not spoiling. So we may have to retouch on this in the future. But one thing about it, the Mario movie is an hour and a half long. And it does not stop. It is. We got folks just squeezing between cars out here. Man. Maybe I'm in the wrong location, right? I'm not parked or nothing. I'm at a stoplight, but there's like an intersection in between the light and some road. I'm about to pull the phone off the thing here to show y'all. Y'all just gonna have to believe me. But tons of fan service. But yeah, like I said, the critics, the review. This is one of the few times I can look at the critic review on Rotten Tomatoes and then look at the viewer review on Rotten Tomatoes and go, this seems about right. Because like I mentioned earlier, there's only like maybe 2 points of character development in the whole thing. I will say this is something I've been wanting for a long time. And not specifically the Mario movie, but no, because it's not. Okay, so what I'm thinking about is like how you have such amazing cutscenes in video games. And it's just like, I think to myself all the time, is like, why do you guys not take your team that does your animations for your cutscenes and just make movies with them, right? Like World of Warcraft, great example. all the WoW nerds, all the WoW fans go crazy when there's new cinematics, right? Like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some new ones here soon because was it Embers and Eltharion or whatever? Like, the new WoW patch is coming out soon, so we're gonna be getting some new cutscenes, and it's probably gonna be lit as fuck. The problem is they're gonna be short as hell. I'm probably gonna get like 5 of them tops, and that's gonna be like maybe some quest line that leads into the raid. You might get one in the raid. You might get It's a good question. Because I know with Shadowlands, they got to a point where like the new patch came out, and then like once a week they would drop new cutscenes. And because I wasn't playing at the time, I don't know if those were like attached to just like sections of raids getting beat, or if that was just like main storyline quests that you follow through the world. But sorry, I gotta watch the road too, and it does distract me sometimes. But it was Illumination, so it's not actually the video game company, so like I gotta scratch that one. But I'm still waiting on the day that a video game company just takes their cinematics team and makes a fucking movie, because there are so many game companies that have like well-crafted cutscenes, and it's like if y'all just strung these together and made a movie, this shit would be something worth watching. But yeah, man. Like I was saying, it's not very deep. It's real fast paced. This is one of those times where somebody says this movie was made for kids, and it's not like some egregious defense of the movie being terrible, because people will say that shit a lot, and it made me so mad that I started like calling people out for it, because it's like kids movies don't have to be bad, right? Now I will say kids movies probably have to be real fast paced like this movie was, because it was just like you're here, there's a scene, boom, and like my buddies will tell you they felt like they could not get up. One of them did have to go to the bathroom during the movie, and that was not by his choice, because I think he was holding it in for like 20 minutes before it was like I can't take it no more. But like super fast paced. Would I recommend you go see it? Yes. Now I will say, if you don't like fast paced movies, if you are somebody who demands there be like a deep, well thought out plot, or you didn't like Mario at all, or you're not a child, you might not enjoy it. But for the most part, a lot of people grew up with Mario, so a lot of these references will make you hit the member berries button and go, oh, I remember. And yeah, it was fun. But if you're looking for the things the critics look for in a movie, this might not be the movie for you, or you might rank it low. But if you're just looking at a fun movie, you can go watch with the family. Particularly watch with the family, because that's where you get the most out of this movie, right? Some people say things like, I don't like going to watch movies in movie theaters because people could be talking, blah, blah, blah. I will say, the theater I was in, when we saw it, people brought their kids, whole family was in there. Some of the comments the kids would make when there was a pause in the movie were quite literally some of the best parts of the movie. And you don't get that by watching the movie at home. So I will say it, I am thankful for the Mario movie, because like it's been probably like 2 years since I've actually gone to the movie theater, sat down and watched a movie. And like I'm real thankful, because like me and the gang used to get together for every Marvel movie, right? And then when we saw Endgame, we just stopped doing it, right? I mean, true that like after Endgame we kind of ran into COVID, but yeah, I don't know. This really excites me. It shows me that there is opportunity to get back out and start seeing these movies with friends again, because those are fun experiences, whether people want to admit it or not. Those are great experiences to have, and they are very memorable. And I will tell you, one of the quotes that made that movie, and this isn't spoiling, this is just something that happens in the movie. So at one point, a little Koopa Trooper gets caught on fire, turns into a dry bones. Most people know how dry bones get made. They're just bones of the Koopa, right? And when I say that scene happened and the movie was silent, a small child went, "Oh, look, it's Shy Guy." We lost it. Because clearly we know that's not a Shy Guy. But this child, he knows the characters, he just doesn't know the names. And it's beautiful, right? And there's another part. We're sitting in theaters. I didn't hear this. My buddy had to tell me about it, and I about died when he told me. We're sitting there, like, okay, let me tell you, the last leg of the movie, the last third, is going crazy. Stuff's going everywhere. You're like, they're jam-packing everything in this movie. And I shit you not, we got to another moment where there was a pause, and a child said, "Oh, this is too much." And the idea of a child watching this movie made for children and then having to like wipe the sweat off his brow and go, "This is too much," is hilarious. So, I also wanted to touch on a couple things, because obviously I want a little tangent or whatever, just talking about Mario. The Mario movie is doing very well in the box office, and there's a discussion going around right now as whether or not we think video game movies are the next genre that we pivot to. Now, I think it's a possibility, right? I don't know for sure, because even though it feels like we're getting to a place where writers, screenplay writers, showrunners, whoever is heading these things, it feels like we're in the right place for these things to start respecting the property that they come from and making a piece of art that is not only good, but it appeals to the people that care about the property, right? So I'll give like a couple examples, right? So other than Mario, we've got the Sonic movie, Sonic 1 and 2, which I think they did very good. Do I have gripes about them? Yeah. Are there things they could have done differently? Yeah. Do I think Sonic should have been live action? Probably not, but it's fine. I'm enjoying the movies. I think they're great. I think the cast picks are great, right? I think Knuckles was a surprisingly good pick. I did not think I would enjoy Idris Elba as Knuckles, but they did a good job with the Sonic movies, and the TV show for The Last of Us did fairly well. I watched it. I haven't played the game, so I can't be like the guy that's going to be like, well, they did vary off from the... But for the most part, and from the people I know who I talk to on a regular basis who have beat the game, they say the TV show respects the property. So if you can make a decent piece of media and respect the property, I think this is good, right? Now, do I think video games are where everyone's pivoting to? No, because the Resident Evil TV show came out like last year, and that was horrendous, right? I didn't watch it, but everybody talked about it. It was bad. They said the actor for Wesker's a good actor, but like the material he was given was just bad, so it's not always going to be like that. So do I think video game movies are the next movie cycle we're going to be going on, and comic books are on the way out the door? No, because they still got a big plans for the DC universe. And that's something I don't like. And I feel like I'm just jumping on tangent to tangent, but the DCU needs to get their shit together. You telling me y'all got 3 timelines? You got the Flash movie doing Flashpoint or some like, multiverse bullshit. You got the Elseworld, which is like just the goofy ass TV shows, and then you got whatever the Batman and the Joker movies go in. And I'm talking Batman with Robert Pattinson, and then the Joker featuring Lady Gaga. But like, DC, y'all are upsetting me. Y'all are resetting the universe, so nothing matters. The Blue Beetle movie won't matter. The Shazam movie didn't matter, and it didn't do well at the box office. Now, I could go back and look. Maybe it finally broke even, but what I was seeing online, the numbers I was looking at, it just looked like one of these other movies that came out, and then like, okay, so say your budget for the movie was here, and this is what you guys made for your returns, right? Maybe a little bit right here. Maybe it'll equal out before it goes out the boxes, before it leaves movie theaters. Who knows? But I feel like I've gone completely off topic here. But do I think video games are replacing comic book movies? No. Do I think westerns are replacing comic books? I don't know. People like to bring up this show called Yellowwood a lot. Haven't watched it. My friends, they love it. They watch the shit out of it. They tried to get me to watch it. I told them maybe. And then I think someone brought up the Sylvester Stallone show in the conversation. I don't think that's a western now. It's like a former mob guy, former crime guy, right? So I don't know. So I don't know if anything is really replacing comic book movies, but I do agree that comic book movies are probably not going to be the forefront of cinema for a while. Especially with the leaders in the space being Marvel and them having to figure out how they're going to handle or approach the Jonathan Majors situation, because I don't know if you guys know this, but they have removed Jonathan Majors from the digital promotion of Ant-Man 3. So Ant-Man 3 coming to Disney Plus or the DVD Blu-ray, there's going to be less of him in the trailers than there was before. And that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Maybe they just, I don't know what they decided to change or why they decided that, like, we're going to take this guy out the trailers and then, whatever. But it does raise questions about whether or not he's still going to be Kang, and if Kang's still going to be the main bad guy. Because, like, ever since this shit, and I keep looking back because, like, the mailman's out there, and I think I have to get out the car soon. But let me try to wrap this up real quick. Jonathan Majors, I don't know. It's real. How do I put it? It's not scary for me, but it's scary for, like, the movies, because, like, I do like watching the movies, especially when they do well, and sometimes I just like ragging on them when they do extra bad. But it's just like, aren't we supposed to get Eternals 2 at some point? So how's that gonna work? And I know Jonathan Majors isn't involved in that, but, like, they've already talked about how King's gonna be popping up in, like, I think 2 other movies that aren't the Avengers movies, and it's just kind of like, if y'all do what y'all did to Johnny Depp to Jonathan Majors, what does this mean for the movies? Like, are we still gonna get Kang as the big villain for Phase 6? Are we going to scramble through Phase 5 and try to, like, reassess who the main bad guy is? Because, like, y'all have been, and I don't think you did a very good job of it, but y'all have been building up Kang as the main bad guy since the beginning of Phase 4, which was Loki. So I don't know. I feel like Marvel's in the hot seat right now, especially with the fact that, like, all their main household name characters that would, like, get people to go to the movies are not even in the franchise anymore. Like, there is no Iron Man now. There is no Captain America now. Who knows how long we'll have Thor, right? And there's nothing wrong with moving to a new generation of characters. I just don't know if the method they chose is the one that should have been chosen. And okay, so the mailman's here. Look, I appreciate y'all. I do apologize for going on a tangent. This was just a small, well, it ended up not being small, but this was just like me talking about the Mario movie. I wanted to gush over a little bit because I had fun watching it. Might do something discussing spoilers with the gang. Also, just, it's been floating through my head, like, are video game movies going to become the new comic book movies? And no, I don't think so, but they could. They could. We won't know until it starts happening. But as it currently sits, I don't think that's where the future of movies are. I think the future of movies is just like, and I don't know how long we have to wade through this current era of movies and TV shows, but we're just gonna have to get better, right? I don't think comic book movies are going away. Westerns getting a resurgence. I don't know if that has to do with comic books or if that's just, people just want to see this stuff. So, appreciate you guys for checking it out. Leave a like if you like this. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Leave a comment if there's something you want me to talk about on the way home in my car. Leave a comment down below if you saw the Mario movie and tell me what was your favorite part of the movie. And yeah, and until next time, peace.